How you doing?
I'm having a great time. Yourself?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really
Lovely.
good. Yeah. So when did you get on site?
Yesterday, I left my house at 9 p.m. Got here for about 12. My missus bought a ticket before I knew I was playing, so we lugged all of our stuff through like the normal entrance. It took us fucking ages to get to the old tent, but it was good. And then went out with my mates last night. Stayed up till 6 in the morning, having the best time ever because I've not seen them all because I've been on tour all year. And I'm just loving life. It's a bit hot, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, worse things have happened.
So it's been a bit of a crazy year for you.
Yeah.
With that album going absolutely mental. How's that experience been?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, you spend so long working on your first album, you know what I mean? Like, arguably your whole life and everything you've experienced has kind of gone into it in one way or another. And to have it out and for people to be loving it is really, really nice, you know what I mean? So yeah, happy.
What have you learned from the experience? Would you do things differently next time?
Not necessarily. I think I would try and do something similar. Just like the whole second album thing, I imagine is going to be the difficult second album. You know, I think I'm just going to write as much as I can in my spare time, with no view of like having a concept for an album. Just to write really good songs that are about me and my mates and my family, and like just what I did for the last one, but try and evolve the sound a bit more once the songs are done. You know what I mean? But. Yeah, it's been a sick year so far. We've done some amazing stuff. I'm going to Japan this year, touring Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, like places I've dreamed of going my whole life. I'm finally getting to go to because of some songs I wrote in my bedroom, so it's pretty cool.
How have you adapted to tour life? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, difficult. I think everybody thinks it's like really easy, but there's actually not a lot of sleep going on, a lot of early mornings, a lot of flying, a lot of travelling. But it really doesn't matter because once you're up on stage doing the gig and everyone's singing your songs back to you, like, it doesn't matter how long it took to get there. It's sick. So yeah, I don't know. I've really been enjoying it. It's been great.
Have you got any tips for surviving long tours?
So much water. Just drink it constantly and you'll be fine. I feel like it's the elixir of life, you know? If you have loads of water, I'm talking like, you know, 4 big bottles of like 2 litres a day, you'll be fine. No problem.
So what's been the biggest highlight for you over the last 12 months? There must be loads, right?
I briefly bumped into Ed Sheeran at a studio randomly, and I had a really nice chat with him, and I was talking about how he got started out and how he started things off in like America and Europe and all that stuff, and it was just like a real nice insight into his career and his, I think it was the Number 5 project collaborations thing he did with a bunch of rappers years and years ago was kind of what got me into him, because it was at the time kind of somebody doing folk mixing it with rap. I'd never really heard it before. A ginger kid with an acoustic. He kind of inspired me to start writing songs and try and get my music out there, and like to meet him was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I bet. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your songwriting.
Sure.
Can you give us some insight into how your songs come together? And you talk about personal experiences and stuff that's happened in your life. Is that really the grist for you?
It's got to be something real. Every time I've written a song about something that was like made up, it just hasn't resonated with people. And kind of deep down I've known that it doesn't resonate with me, do you know what I mean? So all the ones that have typically done well or people have like, you know, received well have been ones that are like true and like real stories, and I don't know, people seem to connect with them a lot easier, and there's no method to it. Like the other day I wrote a song, I started it off because at 4 in the morning I couldn't sleep. So I had this idea running around my head and I just sang it into my phone, and then 3 weeks later I was in a studio with a guy called Cam Blackwood and Joel Potts, and I just sang them this idea and they were like, oh that's great, and then suddenly this whole song came out of nowhere from something I'd sang into my phone 3 weeks ago at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just a bit mad really. There's no method, it's just all madness.
Do you have any tips for anyone starting out and you know how to progress their songs and write something that really resonates with people?
I think just write what's true to you. Like, don't try and write what you think people want to hear about. Write what you want people to hear about, you know what I mean? Like what's going on in your life and what's happening with your friends and your family and your experiences and your take on the world, and I just think that's the easiest way to do it, and just write as many songs as you can. I've kind of got a theory that 1 in every 10 songs is like good, so you have to write 9 shit ones to get a good one.
That's your secret then?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I wrote like 120 songs for the last album, so I plan to do the kind of same thing for the next one.
So how do you know when it's a keeper?
You send it to people. I kind of know, but like the ones that have all been like successful in the charts, I've never known. Like I've got no idea, you know what I mean? But you send it to your mates; they're always a good like normal people who aren't in the music industry. If they're digging it and they find themselves singing it back and texting you like, "I love this, it's been running through my head," that's normally a good thing. I think me, myself, and other people in the industry can overthink songs sometimes because we're so passionate about it. Do you know what I mean? But basically, if your mates like it, you're probably onto something.
Last thing I wanted to ask you about was preparing for shows at Glastonbury, because it's
Sure.
such a different thing than your tour or whatever. How do you kind of get into the right space?
I don't think there's any particular way, because a lot of shows, especially at festivals, you get thrown onto stage, there's no sound check, there's like, you don't even know what anything's going to sound like, you just get up there and you hope for the best. And that's kind of the thrill of it, which I really like, but it's also like, especially when you're doing stuff with like 6 people in your band and you've not had a chance to get any of your ears right or anything, it can be a bit nerve-wracking. But the whole experience is quite thrilling, you know what I mean? Like I really, like Glasgow, it's the best place on earth. It is the best festival, believe me, I've been to so many festivals and played them over the last couple of years, and this place is magical. Even when it's pissing down with rain, it's magical, like, I just love it. It's such an honour to be here, I'm buzzing.